Greetings, this is another reader. Welcome back to my channel. Now I have a long history of reading, but that's a topic for another video. I'm just going to say that I went back into reading in 2013. Now throughout these 8 years I read many different books from many different genres. I loved most of them. Some of them were okay, and a few of them were disappointing. However, there was one book that really struck with me. I read it around December 2016. I read it, I liked it, and a few years later I remembered it and reread it. By that time I read even more books, and now, this year, this autumn, I realized that this book is my all-time favorite. Yes, I put it, this is my #1 book, and that's The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. Before I move on to the book The Thief, I will tell you a little about the author. So Markus Zusak was born in 1975 in Australia. His mother was German and his father was Austrian. His parents grew up during World War II. Markus grew up listening to his parents' stories. His mother's story was the most inspirational to him. According to Markus, he didn't intend to write a book for a particular audience. He intended to write someone's favorite book. And I can say that he succeeded in doing that. Here I am making a video about The Book Thief and why it's worth reading. Here's the plot of the book. The plot revolves around the girl named Liesl Memminger. 9-year-old Liesl is sent to live with her foster parents, Hans and Rosa Hooverman. Liesl adjusts to her new family, she befriends her neighbor Rudi Steiner, and she discovers her love for reading. Then when the world starts and it begins affecting everything around her, Liesl finds escape in books and soon she starts stealing them. I read the novel multiple times, and here are 4 reasons why it's worth reading. #1. The writing style. Zusak's writing style is very unique. Now at first it may seem that his writing style is very simple and very straightforward. However, as you continue reading, you discover that it's not so simple. First of all, the book is narrated by Death. Now, I don't think anyone would expect a book to be narrated by Death, yet alone Death to be a sympathetic character. Here I'm going to read a bit from the very beginning. It's just a small story, really about, among other things, a girl, some words, an accordionist, some fanatical Germans, a Jewish fist fighter, and quite a lot of thievery. Very interesting beginning, isn't it? Throughout the book, sometimes there are some words in German, and Zusak always writes translation. For example, he writes translation for the word Angst, which means fear. It's kind of inspirational. Well, at least it's more inspirational than Rammstein. I mean, to learn German, of course. Although I did notice one mistake. At first, Liesl calls Hans and Rosa Mr. and Mrs. Hooverman, and I was like, wait a minute, they're in Germany. Why are they Mr. and Mrs.? Aren't they supposed to be Herr and Frau? The characters are named Herr and Frau. Sometimes Rosa is referred to as Frau Hooverman. So the next point is the characters. I really love all 6 main characters in this novel. I like them so much that I really want to jump into this book and befriend them. Well, at least 2 of them. There are 6 main characters in the novel. Liesl, Hans, Rosa, the Jewish boy Max van der Burg, Rudi, and Death. Even Death has a heart. So each character is amazingly written. I really like Liesl. She is very kind but also very brave. Rudi is sportish and a little bit odd. And Rosa is a fighter character. She's constantly swearing and constantly saying Saumensch all the time. but she is kind-hearted anyway. Max Vanderburg is kind of a more enduring character. He is kind of humble, and there's also Hans Hooverman, who is a very soft-hearted and kind character. You know, after reading the book Thief, I was kinda inspired to go and steal a few books myself. I haven't stolen anything. And secondary characters are well written, like Alex Steiner and even Frau Diller. The next point, the atmosphere of the book. In my opinion, Markus Zusak managed to do an impossible thing. He made Nazi Germany, or at least a small part of it, attractive. If you are afraid of reading the book because of the time and setting, don't worry. The war is kinda on the background, it's kinda behind the scenes. The book Thief isn't about the horrors of war, but the book Thief is more about the power of words and how they can affect people and how they can influence them. It's also about finding hope in dark times and doing what you feel is right, even if you get judged. Even if you put your own family at risk. This leads me to the fourth and final point, Hans Hooverman. Yes, I've talked about the characters before, but Hans Hooverman deserves a separate reason. Apart from Liesel herself, Hans is my favorite character in the book Thief. He's said to be kinda there, sometimes he gets pushed around. When he doesn't want to do something, he's like, yes, I'm doing this, but he doesn't rush doing it. Well, kinda like me. Hans Hooverman steals every scene he's in. There are two great moments with him that I really appreciate. I love them so much, and they even made it to the feature film. The first moment is when he discovers the Grave Digger's Handbook. Well, promise me one thing, Liesel. If I die anytime soon, you make sure they bury me right. And then there's this. Rosa, Hans said to her at one point. Quietly, his words cut through one of her sentences. Could you do me a favor? She looked up from the stove. What? I'm asking you, I'm begging. Could you please shut your mouth for just 5 minutes? This scene is amazing. Yes, in the film they changed the circumstances when Hans says that, but at least it made it to the film. And most characters in the book see Hans as an unspecial person, not important or particularly valuable. Liesel is the first one to see that her foster father is anything but unspecial. And as the book goes on, the reader agrees with her. I wish there were more characters like Hans Hooverman. He's kinda soft, kind, but he isn't spineless. This is especially visible at the end when he's the only one who is brave enough to attempt to do the right thing, even if it puts him and his family and everything at risk, even if everyone, even Hans himself, thinks that it's wrong. Yes, there should be more characters like that. And I think as a writer I can write such characters. Wait, my conclusion. The combination of the writing style, the characters and the atmosphere results in an amazing novel. The book Thief isn't that much action-driven, but it's character-driven. The book Thief raises also important topics without watering them down or the other way around. It's pleasant to read for both adults and the youngsters alike. I recommend it very much. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. See you next time.